Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Ravemen K700 Smart Bike Headlight. Ravemen's K-series of headlights are budget-friendly single LED designs with additional smart features. In this review, we're going to be looking at the K700, which is their second most affordable model in the lineup. Packaging-wise, you can see simple black and orange color scheme. You have a nice representation of the headlight printed directly on there. And then all the relevant specs printed around the sides and back. I'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the specs. So this is quite affordable. It's only $34.99. As the name implies, you have 700 lumens of output, which is actually pretty good. So you can definitely see on dark trails. This light also has an ambient light sensor, as well as a motion sensor, so it'll automatically turn off and go to sleep if it doesn't detect any motion. You also have a wide angle beam, so there's these horizontal cutouts, which help distribute the light horizontally. Also have USB Type-C charging, so you can charge the 2200 milliamp internal battery. And then you have a nice tab style mount with included handlebar mount, as well as a GoPro adapter. As far as what comes with it, you can see very simple packaging, just a little cardboard to hold it in place. The light itself, which is quite compact. You have the user manual as well as the warranty card. You have the handlebar mount. And you can see a little bit horizontal adjustment here that matches the mount style. In this baggie, you can see we also have a GoPro adapter and a corresponding bolt to secure it in place, so you can put this upside down on your out front mount. And then finally, you have a USB Type-C charging cable to a standard USB-A, so you can easily charge this on the go. Now let's take a look at the weight of the light. So the 700 by itself on the scale comes in at 136. The handlebar mount on its own is 17. And then the little GoPro adapter, which is just a simple plastic piece, is only 5 grams. Visually, the Ravemen K700 has a standard rectangular design with a black metal body. With this being the 700 lumen version, it's actually quite compact and only has a 2200 milliamp battery inside it, with a single LED lens on the front that's shared with the rest of the K series. In terms of dimensions, it's pretty compact, 101 millimeters by 34 by 37, so you can see almost square in the cross section. So it really doesn't take that much space on your handlebar. Branding is limited to the Ravemen logo on top. K700 printed on here, so it's not actually etched, it just seems like it's printed. And that's the same thing on the other side. At the back, you have this little rubber cover, and you can see it's almost a separate piece from the metal body. There's a little attachment here. And if you pull up the rubber cover, you have a nice USB Type-C charging port, which is great to easily charge this light as needed. As far as mounting, you can see I have the standard tab style design. So you can see a trapezoidal shape and 2 protruding tabs here that go into a corresponding mount. Ravemen includes 2 mounts. You have a GoPro adapter, which means you can flip this upside down and then attach the adapter on there. You can see there's a tab here. So if you're always confused about which way to put this on, you just want to match that tab with the actual light. So you can see if I slide this through here, now it's locked into place. And if I pull the tab and then push backwards, you can see it comes off. So very simple design, not quite as generic as the Garmin quarter turn style, but you can see it's more compact, so it fits right at the center of the body without protruding. You also have a handlebar mount, and you can see with this one, same thing. You have a little tab there that'll match the groove on the light. So I slide it on, really nice click. And you also have horizontal adjustments, so you can adjust the angle left and right. And then you have a nice rubber strap. Feels quite thick, so it should last a while. And it has a little hook on the other side to put on your handlebar. You can also see there's a rubber pad here that holds it in place. When you want to remove it, you just have to push down on this tab and then slide it back or slide the light forward. As far as the lens, it's pretty simple. Ravemen describes this as an anti-glare design, but it's simply a vertical diffuser setup. So single LED, and you can see these vertical diffusers. What this does is distribute the light horizontally. So rather than having a cone shape here, you actually just have these little rectangular shape that spreads out. So it gives it a kind of unique shape, but it is not anti-glare, because if I put it sideways and you have a person in front of here, you can see there's a ton of glare, just standard cone shape. You do have nice horizontal cutouts, so you can see even if I don't see the beam or the light output, these are lit up, so you're visible from side angles, which is always a nice feature. As far as the user interface, you have a single power button. It is actually back illuminated, but it's really hard to see during the day. So you can see if I just cover it up a little bit, it's either green, yellow, or red. Above that, you have this little glossy rectangle. The top one is the ambient light sensor, and below that is the smart mode indicator. So a 1.5 second hold will turn the light on. You have a single level menu, so single press will cycle through the high, medium, low, and then a single flash mode. Then another press will go back. So you do have to cycle through flash if you want to adjust the output, which can be distracting at night. Then there's also a smart feature. So if I hold it for about 3.5 seconds, this indicator will illuminate. So now it's blue. That indicates I'm in the smart mode. So during the day, it goes into this daytime flash, which is great. So you have nice high visibility. If I cover that up to make it think it's nighttime, you can see it'll go to the medium mode. So this is definitely the mode I prefer. You just leave it on here. And if you go through a tunnel or it gets dark at night, it'll automatically adjust. And as you can see, it's really quick. If you click the button again, I'll just go back to the normal mode selection. So it doesn't remember that you're in the mode. You always have to do that 3.5 second hold. There are 4 different modes to choose from. You have 3 constant modes with high being 700 lumens and 1.5 hour runtime. Medium is 300 lumen with 3.5 hour runtime. And then low is 150 lumen with 6.5 hour runtime. Then you have flash mode, which switches between 0 and 300 and is good for 28 hours and nice for daytime riding. Here you can see some riding footage, and with the beam shape, you can see it's very wide, less of a spot beam and more of a flood. So great for lower speeds or urban riding, as you can see everything around you. Flash mode is not separated from the normal constant mode, so you can see you have to cycle through it, and it can be very distracting, so you have to quickly cycle through it if you want to switch the intensities. High and medium are great for normal riding, while low is pretty dim and better reserved for maybe daytime or brighter conditions. It is a decent light. You can switch between modes, and at night you can easily see the power button and the current status. You can also flip the light and put it underneath, which is convenient as a non-directional beam. It does have a glare design, so you do have to remember to dip it down if you're riding somewhere a little bit more crowded, but overall a nice light. And the ambient light sensor is also a really great feature. It's a mode we primarily use, as it automatically switches between day and night mode without you pressing anything. Here we have both the K700 and the 1800, and what's remarkable is they're very similar in size. Same lens, same user interface. This one gets the AI features with the 1800, and you can see slightly longer as it has a bigger battery, but almost identical otherwise in shape. Same mounts, but this one does have heat fins to accommodate the higher output. Also with the K1800, you do get the wireless remote included. That is an option on the other K models like the 700, but you do have to buy it separately. Now, if we compare these models with other lights on the market, you can see that it's very similar in shape. We have the Ravemen 1500 for Magicshine, probably one of our favorite with the anodized design, so definitely stands out. Single button press to check the battery status, and what's nice about Magicshine is it's a lot more visible. It's hard to see the actual color of this without covering it up, so you can see it's green. But with the Magicshine, you can see it in broad daylight. The beam shapes are also very similar. This has the horizontal diffuser, so it slightly reduces the output on the top and increases it on the bottom, while the Ravemen lights just have a standard cone shape, but a wider beam. So you can see how this is just more round, and then the Ravemen one is more of a rectangle as they spread out. So it does help when you're riding, but it would have been nice to see horizontal diffusers as well to reduce the glare. But this one is reversible, while the Magicshine is not reversible as it's directional. There's also tons of options out there. So we have the IGP Sport, which is a top mount design, 1200 lumen light. Feels a little more premium as you have this nice silver cutout. And you can see the beam shape is just a standard cone. So nothing too special. No AI features or useful smart features. They also have some of the ambient light sensor as well as the feature for the auto sleep. But with the IGP Sport, it actually turns it off completely rather than having a smart mode. So I do like the fact that Ravemen has a smart mode that switches between day and night. We also have the KNOG blinder. So it's kind of a mountain biking style light with the 4 LEDs, spot and flood beams. And what's cool about the blinder is they have a reversible mount. So you can use the same mount. It has a little clip-on design. And you can see you just pull it off. So you loosen it. And then you can flip it around. So you can put it underneath or on top. and just flip the mount, which is kind of cool rather than dealing with adapters. We also have the LightSKIN U8. This is a much more advanced beam, so you can actually see it has a high and low beam, and actually has a beam cutoff, so something you don't get with the Ravemen lights. It's cost a little bit more, but you can see a nice sharp beam cutoff, so you won't blind people. So when you're riding, you don't have glare, which is a really nice design. But obviously you pay a little bit more. And it has a reversible mount design, which is really cool. So Garmin mount, just bolts on, you can flip it around. So you can put this above or below by just flipping the mount and keeping the buttons where they should be. While with the K1800 or 700, when I flip it, the button is actually hidden. So it makes it harder to use as you have to put your hand underneath. There's also the Trek Commuter Pro. This has more features, so quite a bit more expensive. And it has this kind of cool feature with the light lens shape. So you can see I can control a taillight and the headlight with one button. So you can pair it with a Trek taillight, and it has a nice sharp beam cutoff. Not quite as crisp as some other models, but you do get the nice anti-glare design and these big orange reflectors on the side. If you're looking for a light with a removable battery, Phoenix is probably one of the few. So this one has basic shape, and you can see I can actually open this up, and it has a removable battery cell. That's a feature you don't really find with other lights, as it does make it a little bit more complicated, but this is 1200 lumen, and you can see almost identical in size, even with the removable rear. Finally, if you do want a more of a sharp beam cutoff, Magicshine is the Evo 1700. So much more unique style, so it almost looks like an old TV set. And a GoPro mount, so it's designed to be on the bottom, not on top. You can't really flip it, but very unique shape, and you can see great trapezoidal beam that won't have any glare for oncoming traffic, but you do have some artifacts at the edges. And they also have the matching EV 1300 with a little bit lower output, but you can see if I compare these two side by side, it has a much nicer sharp beam cutoff, which is really nice, especially if you're riding somewhere busy like a popular trail. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Ravemen K700. What we like about it, it's very affordable. At only $35, you get 700 lumens, which is a good deal. You also have a nice wide beam with those horizontal diffusers, so you really see everything around you while you're riding. And you also have a nice automatic day and night switch with the smart mode that uses the ambient light sensor. The main negatives with the light is the fact that the button has a weak backlight, so it's really hard to see during the day and see what the battery status is. Also, flash mode is not separated from the constant mode, so when you're switching modes, you do have to cycle through the flash mode, which can be distracting. And also, a long hold is required to activate the smart mode every single time. It doesn't revert to that mode when you turn it on again. Taking everything into account, we'd give you the light an 8.7 out of 10. It's a nice budget-friendly bike headlight. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.